Does M. Night Shyamalan really deserve all the criticism that we give him as moviegoers? No, he doesn't, and here's why. Welcome back to Gavin Goes to the Movies. I'm Gavin, let's talk movies. Today we're going to be talking about M. Night Shyamalan, one of the most controversial directors of our time, and that is with good reason. On one hand, he's able to put out really good movies that are thought-provoking, great twists, and just overall good movies. But on the other hand, he puts out movies that gets us all talking for the wrong reasons. Some of his movies you just cannot defend. Just so we're on the same page, let's run through his movies real fast, that way we know what we're dealing with. His first movie was Praying with Anger, and that came out in '92. I didn't see this movie. I don't think a lot of people saw this movie, but that's his first movie. His second movie was called Wide Awake, that came out in '98. Still didn't see this one. I'm already 0 for 2. I'm not making a good case for this guy, but here come the ones that we know. Now in 1999, he dropped The Sixth Sense. This movie had the biggest twist of all time, and to some people it still does. The only problem is, if you weren't around during that time, going to see the movie in theaters, the movie's already been ruined for you before you even had a chance to see it. That's what happened to me. A year later, he releases Unbreakable, starring Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson. Now, this movie has a twist at the very end that brings the whole movie together. It's another one that people talk about a lot. I would say this is another hit for him. In 2002, he releases Signs. Now, this was my entry point into M. Night Shyamalan. I didn't see the other two before this. This is the first movie of his that I went to the theater to see, and my God, was I traumatized. You all know which scene I'm talking about. And yes, this is going to be considered a hit. In 2004, he releases The Village. Now I know what you're all thinking. Absolute miss, it's a dud, it was terrible. Just like The Sixth Sense, this movie's twist was ruined for me. So I never really felt the need to see it. A couple years ago, it was on one of the streaming services, and you know what I said? I'm gonna watch it. I felt like the story had potential, it could have worked, but just some of the decisions just didn't mesh well. This one's a dud. Following up The Village, he releases Lady in the Water. See, now this is a movie that no one talks about. The hype for his next movie would be unreal. Why are people killing themselves? Why are people jumping off of buildings? Super cool teaser trailer for his next movie, The Happening, starring Mark Wahlberg. Now this one has a pretty wild twist. But too bad this was one of the dumbest twists I've ever seen. Wild doesn't always mean good. Certified dud. Just so we're keeping track, this is like the third or fourth dud in a row. Now in 2010, he adapts one of the most beloved stories, one of the most beloved cartoons of our time, The Last Airbender. I definitely didn't watch this one, but I did hear the horror stories.
Stop it, please, for God's sake, please stop it. There's no more time. You've got to, please stop it now, turn it off, turn it off.
Now this next movie was the nail in the coffin for M. Night Shyamalan. After Earth, starring Will Smith and Jaden Smith. When this movie came out, it was absolutely destroyed by critics, by audiences everywhere. It was hated across the board. Now, I did go see this one and I thought that it was fine. Well, probably more like 1 or 2 notches below fine. At this point, that's like 5 or 6 movies in a row that just were not well received at all. Some were really not well received. And it just felt like his career was kind of going on the downward slope to, maybe it just might be better if he retired. Little did we know that this was part of his plan all along, the ultimate twist. Everyone loves a comeback story. In 2015, he releases The Visit. It was this weird take on the found footage horror fad that's been going around that time. That was really hard to say, by the way, found footage horror fad, wouldn't recommend. But anyway, The Visit was such a simple story, and it was really well told, and the way that it was filmed was creepy, it asked questions, and then he gave us the twist. That trademark M. Night Shyamalan twist that we've been craving for so long, we get it in The Visit. On top of it just being a cool movie, a cool story, that twist,
it was perfect. Perfect.
A year later, he gives us arguably his best movie he's ever made in Split. Split was just a really well-made movie. The acting was great, the directing was great, the story was great, the atmosphere was awesome, and honestly, James McAvoy should have won every single award under the sun for his performance.
I can't stay alive for too long or he'll know and get angry, etc.
Certified hit. In 2019, he follows that up with Glass to finish off the Unbreakable, Split, Glass trilogy. This one was okay. I'd still say it's a hit. 2023, we get Knock at the Cabin starring Dave Bautista. We got Ron Weasley. We got everybody. Now, I don't know where to place this one because I like the concept of it. I just feel like a lot of things were missing in the middle. I just feel like not enough happened when the actual consequence of what's going on was so massive as far as the world goes, but we were just stuck right here in this cabin. But maybe that's the whole point. I don't know. I'm gonna say hit. Now, as far as his next movie goes, Trap, that looks awesome. The fact that this movie is built on the actual twist that this guy is a serial killer and it's following him and him trying to escape this trap that was set for him from the police.
I can't stop. I'll just do this one last one. Enjoy the rest of the concert.
So cool, such a cool concept. Now, this is the interesting part. Is it gonna be one of his duds? Is it gonna be one of his hits? We don't know until we go watch the movie, and that's my point. M. Night Shyamalan is the Nickelback of film. I know it sounds weird, but let me explain. Nickelback is a band who has put out a lot of hits throughout the years, but it still seems that everyone just hates them. Or they just say that they hate their music because that was the cool thing to do. The reality of it is, you don't hate their music. And the reality is, you don't hate M. Night Shyamalan's movies. There's gonna be 1, 2, 3 Nickelback songs that are stuck in your head from time to time, the ones that you sing in the shower.
Look at this graph.
That you secretly love. Now, the same thing goes with M. Night Shyamalan, and I feel like one of the biggest draws to M. Night Shyamalan's movies is that we never know what we're gonna get. Are we gonna get a Split, or are we gonna get a Lady in the Water? We don't know, but we always want to take that risk.
Life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
And one thing that I do admire is that this guy swings for the fences. He has a story and he just runs with it. Sometimes straight into a wall, but you get my point. So now maybe we back off, temper our expectations down a little bit, and just give the guy a break. Because now that we went through his catalog of movies, we saw that his hits were more recent than not. Now that doesn't mean that Trap or any other movie that comes after this is going to be the next Sixth Sense, the next Split, the next Visit, but you never know with this guy.
Wild card, bitches!
For all we know, his next movie is going to be your Nickelback song. Thanks for watching my video, everybody. If you're a fan of M. Night Shyamalan, let me know what your favorite movies of his are in the comments. And remember to subscribe to the channel for movie news, reviews, rankings, recaps, and so much more. Until the next video, everybody, see you later.